Welcome back for our Farm and Ranch News. The Biden administration's Environmental Protection Agency has issued a final rewrite of the Trump-era Waters of the U.S. reforms. The rule released Friday was first proposed in November 2021, and it essentially reverts to pre-2015 WOTUS definitions with a number of tweaks. The rule does codify for the first time a number of long-standing agriculture exemptions to the Clean Water Act. But even with some agriculture exemptions, agriculture advocates are deeply disappointed in the rule.
The rule doesn't clearly exempt isolated or ephemeral features from federal jurisdiction, but instead subjects both of those features to case by case determinations, which means that farmers, ranchers, or landowners across the country could be required to pay a lot of money and spend a lot of time trying to figure out if their isolated or ephemeral features are federally jurisdictional.
The rule keeps a controversial significant nexus test in place when determining jurisdictional waters.
This rule does not provide the needed clarity and certainty that the regulated community has long called for. This rule allows the federal government to expand their jurisdictional reach over private property. It is clear that the agencies have doubled down on their use of the troubling significant nexus test, which will require landowners to hire environmental consultants, attorneys, and engineers to ensure that they are in compliance.
Farm Bureau believes the amount of permitting that farmers or ranchers are subject to will get worse.
Since this rule relies on case-by-case determinations and ambiguously defined terms, it is incredibly difficult for a farmer to understand if they have a jurisdictional feature on their property. There are civil and criminal liabilities attached to Clean Water Act compliance, and that is why it's so incredibly important to have a clear line of jurisdiction.
The new WOTUS rule now goes into effect 60 days after it's published in the Federal Register.
We will be looking to the Supreme Court for a decision in the Sackett case, which will provide some clarity on the use of the significant nexus test. And the agencies have stated that today's rule is a durable rule, but it is very likely that they will have to make changes to the rule in response to a decision from the High Court next year.
The EPA was asked by members of Congress and others to delay the WOTUS rulemaking until the Supreme Court issued its opinion in Sackett versus the EPA sometime this spring. The case raises questions about what qualifies as a jurisdictional wetland. That's today's Farm and Ranch News.